All right, this is the desperate acts of the entity that is indeed following from place to place. You can hear on the podcast. I'm at treatment center. I'm at the Aegis Treatment Center down. And as I'm walking up the street, I'm now at what is G Street. That's a demon stalking in the path at 130 West G Street with the hazard lights on. And the Ontario Police Department, as I turn on video, is engaging what they're following me down the street, and they're engaging in what is flying off in the distance, my ability to capture them. This is the ongoing stalking. I want to be clear, harassment and stalking is also not going to get mental illness. The entity is clearly showing the fact that they are stalking and relying on harassment and terrorism. That's not getting mental illness. The entity is going to federal prison. It's required. Every gang stalking police officer acting in furtherance of murder and kidnapping me and harassing by stalking by helicopter on an ongoing basis, they're going to federal prison. And this is conduct that's speaking to what is harassment, not mental illness, and to document it. This is, again, the desperate acts of the entity that knows that they have lost and what is a widely publicized and corrupt endeavor to steal property by gang stalking. And then you're resorting to, because you've lost, now you're just following me around plainly and obviously stalking me. I'm capturing it there. This is stalking as I'm going from place to place. Because I'm not walking now they're flying in circles right here. I was at the treatment center. As I walk up this street, this demon is following as I'm walking right up the street. All right, so the entity that's engaging in, and this, like I'm stating on my podcast, is exactly what they engaged in on October 2nd, 2019, after this entity engaged in what is theft of my property, stole my vehicle, that the entity flying over my vehicle day and night, like they fly over me, like I'm documenting in the 79 videos that I have by helicopter. That's what they were doing in 2019, knowing exactly who I am, where I'm at, and then stole my vehicle, claiming that it was abandoned. That's how they exercise authority under the law that they don't have, making up information in order to harass you. All right. And then engaging in what is creating more instability while they're targeting you. None of that is mental illness. I'm exposing all the corrupt tactics because the entity that is gang stalking, they are, first of all, engaging in what is outright criminal conduct, targeting, surveillance. The government's not free to engage in this. This is surveillance. And the people of the state are sharing in that. And not only that, the entity is engaging in what is outwardly demonstrating mental illness. This is psychopath. They're flying in circles over me everywhere that I go. They're always engaging in what is stalking, engaging in this demonic conduct of this ritualistic flying in circles around me everywhere that they follow me where I'm going. This is the entity demonstrating severe mental illness in doing so. And this is the desperation. Tracy Banks has no case with regard to mental illness while she has a secret conservatorship and maintaining a secret marriage through her sex partner, Jason Isaac Fields, to me. And my evidence of what is the Ontario Police Department stalking me after kidnapping me on May 29, 2025. This is the entity that's gone to desperate measures, and it is also very obvious. And this speaks to what is a very successful case in federal court against the state of California and the entirely illegitimate force of the Ontario Police Department. They are being disbanded for, again, this criminal conduct. This is relevant to gang stalking. Laurelwood Apartments is monitoring. They're flying in circles over Laurelwood, and you need to understand that they're gang stalking as well. This is P.O.C. This is my shadow that's appearing at a great distance, and the Ontario Police Department is doing what the people of the state are doing while the Ontario Police is flying in circles and pacing all around in the sky space while I'm documenting on an ongoing basis every night, them molesting me with light, and I go and get their license plates. The Ontario Police is handling that. 9TDU 998. Molesting, gang stalking with the Ontario Police Department, because this is what the people of the state are doing while I am walking back to the Topor Professional Building. Okay, this is P.O.C. The entity clearly has no intentions of maintaining any sort of legitimate appearance in court other than looking like the plain terrorist and the stalker that my evidence and that I've been stating from the beginning. And that's not getting you any success in a court case with regard to a secret and a criminally procured conservatorship. The incentive behind the Ontario Police Department gang stalking in the first place. And the mental illness is put at the forefront. They're gang stalking under a fake sun. They're gang stalking amongst impossible light activity. They're gang stalking in helicopters. They're gang stalking with the rest of the government at every level in the city of Ontario. And that mental illness is put at the forefront of their prosecution, sacrificing their freedom, and necessity is being placed in facilities. So I want to be clear, as I stop walking, this is where the entity is concentrating, flying in a circle in helicopter. While I'm walking on Euclid Avenue, flying over the top of my head in helicopter. While I'm at the Ovid Family Community Library, you can hear on the podcast, they were flying over me at the Ovid Family Community Library, and it's relevant to what I document. The entity that does not have any plan just engages in what is obvious conduct that's exposing gang stalking and exposing those that are engaging in it. And it's the people of the state with them. The Ontario police is not going to take the fall for everybody. The people of the state, the demons inside of Starbucks that are stalking under the fake sun that remains at that cafe, they're gang stalking with the Ontario police, and you're subject to federal prison. The Ontario Police Department are engaging in what is making an admission with regard to what the public entity is engaging in. This is an impossible coincidence amongst the Los Angeles Police Department, maintaining helicopter activity over me under a fake sun and engineer light, both where I live and work, where that fake sun never leaves. And also, as I would go to Chase Bank, guess where the LAPD flew circles over? They flew circles over the Chase Bank as I drove to the Chase Bank. They engaged in what is stalking from place to place, just like the Ontario Police Department are doing now. It is currently 10:43 p.m. This is the entity that's begging for attention, and it's negative attention. This is the entity that's desperate, has no other strategy. This is the entity that has failed in trying to artificially engineer mental illness. This is the entity that is ironically demonstrating its mental illness for the whole world to witness. This is public corruption, and this is the disbanding of the Ontario Police Department. And you need to understand that this is the shared condition of the face that you do see on the City of Ontario website, Mike LORENZ. He's a raging psychopath. He is demon possessed, and he's corrupt. That's why you have this corruption amongst the entire force of the Ontario Police Department that is obsessively monitoring my vagina. Okay? In the same way that you see them stalking at 10 o'clock at night, 10:44 at night, they're monitoring my vagina everywhere that I'm at, where the entity is stalking as one in the entity in every restroom in Ontario, California. This is P.O.C. and this is long-term documentation dating back to 2019, the entity gang stalking by helicopter, which is the hallmark in the specific environment. This is merely the entity craving negative attention that is not helping the criminal and corrupt purposes of Tracy Banks and Jason Isaac Fields and the state of California. All right, openly engaging what is harassment and stalking, which is what this is. Following from place to place, and I have a documented pattern of the entity maintaining presence over me. That's what this is relevant to. And following in order to be on video so that they can suggest, oh, you see, she's just paranoid. Nobody's following her. They literally followed me as I came from Euclid Avenue. They're literally flying over my head every night at the Topor Professional Building. They're literally flying over me while I'm at the library, which I documented on podcast. The entity is, again, very unintelligent. These are the schemes that they're relying on. This is never going to work. You literally have to pursue me and beg for attention in order to then turn that on when you're stalking somebody, and that's how you're trying to artificially engineer mental illness. This is speaking to the corruption, and the laws are going to change. And in addition to that, this is the entity that is documented. That's why I document them following me around, seeking attention. And this attention is documentation. It's not establishing mental illness. It's establishing gang stalking by the state. This is pathetic. It is currently 10:45 p.m. This is the entity that doesn't have a strategy. Okay, and this is what a corrupt government does when they are targeting an American citizen. This is P.O.C. License plate. This is light activity relevant positioning. License 9LOX749. This is P.O.C.